High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
a clash of styles out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
From Edward Byrne Memorial Stadium in North Massapequa, it is a Nassau Conference 3 showdown between the visiting Golden Eagles of Bethpage and the Red Devils of Plainedge. This game presented by Orland and Cohen. Dylan Butler here, Tom Rooney with a cast of it. Looks like thousands, Tom. It's a terrific atmosphere, a great game day. We're going to detail so much of that, but first, it's the Plainedge Marching Band with the national anthem. All right, great stuff from the Plainedge Marching Band. And certainly, again, we are so excited here to bring this one to you. It is the old school backyard brawl, Tom. It is communities that are so close. In fact, so many of these players, as they're growing up, share the same zip code. So this one means something to all the players on the field, but also obviously to those around both programs.
You can feel it. You see both communities out here right now in full force. The stands are packed. It's a beautiful day. These kids are ready to play. This is a big-time matchup.
Yeah, so first for the visiting Golden Eagles of Bethpage, they come in with a 3-1 record. Some close games as well. A 21-14 win to open the season at Floral Park. They took care of Hewlett. They had a 20-0 loss against Wantagh in their last game in Week 4, a 22-21 win, leading the way in that game. And really, for much of the season, has been Will McMullen. 30 carries, 153 yards, and a touchdown. He also converted the winning 2-point conversion, had a 4-yard touchdown run to send it in overtime. So much of what Bethpage does, not only this year, but throughout their history, is that great bone, right? They go to the wishbone. It's an old-school look for the Golden Eagles, and that's what they're going to rely on here today.
Yeah, you don't see the wishbone a lot, but Bethpage, I mean, this is their identity. This is what Bethpage football was built on, and they brought it back, especially this year, and you're going to see a lot of it, a lot of ground and pound.
They have a big offensive line, a veteran offensive line, and a guy in McMullen who will lead them to do that. Let's take a look at our players to watch. And again, it'll be McMullen. You see him on the left. First-year head coach Pete Zito says, I don't know the last time a Bethpage player had 30 carries in a game. Might have been a school record, but he's a wrestler. He's a tough guy. He doesn't maybe look it right when you look at his size and his weight, but it's not the size of the dog, right? It's the fight in the dog. Will McMullen's that leader. And then the other way, going both ways, is Nick El Shami, as you see the Plainedge Red Devils making their way onto the field. El Shami will be very, very instrumental, not only in leading McMullen and opening those holes as part of that veteran offensive line, but also defensively then trying to stop a very formidable Plainedge team. Yeah,
Bethpage has to get the ball to McMullen. He had 30 carries the last game. And they won, right? So I think you're going to see a lot of McMullen. And Al Shami's got to open up holes, but I think defensively is where he's most important. He's got to hold the line. Plainedge resets that line of scrimmage. They're going to run the ball right at him. He's got to have a big day on the D-line.
Conversely, Plainedge comes into this game a perfect 4-0 on the season, and really, not having much competition to this point, right? A 42-7 win over Division, shutout wins over Cary and Roosevelt, and then a 49-7 win against Floral Park. If you add it up from last year, that's 16 consecutive wins. They won the Long Island Championship year. This is a program, certainly, that has been buzzing and one of the best, not only in Nassau County, but on the entire island.
Yeah, right now, Plainedge is the standard. I mean, they are, I wonder who you're going to have as your players to watch. They have so many excellent players. You could highlight 3 or 4 different linemen. They do it old school. They come right at you. They run the ball, give you some different formations, but they're going to run it and make you stop the run.
Well, Tom Rooney, wonder no more. Here are their players to watch for the Red Devils of Plainedge. And on offense, again, we could have picked multiple guys. We're going to go Vinny Cavalieri here because Plainedge wants to have the big play, and Cavalieri, that's his middle name. Huge plays for them, of course. You see his numbers, 15 receptions for 233 yards and a touchdown for a team that really doesn't throw the football a lot. And if you're talking about the heartbeat, maybe the heart and soul, the emotional and physical leader of this team, Shane Mosier is that guy. He looks the part, man. Central booking for a middle linebacker, right? 6'1", 190, all over the field. 29 tackles, 3 for a loss, an all-county player, a Piner Award finalist a year ago for the best linebacker in Nassau County.
Absolutely. Cavalieri gets set up with a lot of run. They go play action. They look for Cavalieri, and Shane Mosier is simply just one of the best football players on the island.
It's funny, in our conversation with Rob Shaver, the Plainedge head coach, he said he had to actually go quiet with Mosier this week because Mosier calls everything out, and kind of the other guys, it's a crutch for the other linebackers. So he said we had silent Shane in practice this week, which if you know Shane Mosier and if you know the Mosier family, that's not an easy thing to do, to silent Shane Mosier. So keys to this game, there are a bunch, although there's some similar themes, of course, again, between two teams that are very similar. And for that, we welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, John Perez.
Guys, when we spoke to both coaches earlier this week, Peter Zito over at Bethpage and Rob Shaver for Plainedge, they were pretty simplistic when it came to the keys to this game. It's just stop the run. For Shaver, he said that Bethpage is a team that can kill you up the gut. And so it's very important to keep Bethpage out of 2 and 5 situations, 3rd and short. Really stop them on 1st and 2nd down. He said that's going to be the difference today. Meanwhile, on the other side, pick your poison for Plainedge. Bethpage knows that it has a lot on the table, a lot of options that they have to counter with, and it's just contain everybody to the best of their ability. So, simple words, stop the run. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, John. Easier said than done, certainly, right? Stop the run. And for Bethpage, it's going to be about getting those yards, especially on first down. I think first downs in this game, as John said, will be so important. Because if Bethpage can get 3 or 4 yards on that first down, it really sets them up well for 3rd or 2nd and 3rd downs. But if it's suddenly a 2nd and 11, advantage Plainedge. Yeah,
the wishbone isn't built for 2nd and 11 and 3rd and 8. They want to come out and get at least 4. Hope get in a situation where it's 2nd and 5 or 2nd and short. And Plainedge is tough on the D line. You got some really good matchups in there. It'll be interesting to see if Bethpage can move the line of scrimmage and get the wishbone going.
You see the ceremonial coin flip. And also, it's a big game here on Long Island when you got Nassau County executive Bruce Blakeman in the house as
We
well.
got royalty.
Yes. He knows a good old school rivalry when it comes. And Rob Shaver, too, the Plainedge coach, said, listen, I put Bethpage Plainedge right up there with Massapequa Farmingdale in terms of the best rivalries in Nassau County. And you could, again, make the argument on all of Long Island.
Yeah, and you know, I said it's a packed house. You can look left and right here in the stands. There's nowhere to sit. There's people standing along the fence. You know, both communities are football-driven communities, and they're out here in full force.
There you saw Bruce Blakeman there getting a good seat out at midfield. As we're just about set to go, Plainedge has won the last 6 meetings between these two teams. But just before that, it was 4 in a row for Bethpage. So it kind of it goes in those cycles a little bit. Right now, it's the guys in red that have the edge. In fact, you look at their last meeting. This was in last year's Nassau Conference 3 championship game in Plainedge. Talk about defense winning championships, right? They held Bethpage to just 35 yards on 41 total plays. Anthony Morello also had a 40-yard pick six. Big win for Plainedge. Obviously, it was their 6th consecutive, their 5th county championship under Rob Shaver, who has really been the architect of this turnaround. John Perez will detail that again later on in this broadcast, but it is Plainedge's way right now. But listen, Pete Zito, he's in his first year as Bethpage head coach. He is a Bethpage alum. He wanted no other job than to coach the Golden Eagles, and he's pretty confident he can get his guys going again and maybe get the better end of this long-standing rivalry.
Yeah, I don't think the Bethpage kids are worried too much about last year or the last 6 meetings. This is a fresh year. They're feeling pretty good. They got some guys healthy, and we're ready to go here.
We are ready to go here in this Nassau Conference 3 showdown presented by Orland and Cone. It is Plainedge in the home Reds. They will kick the ball off to the Golden Eagles. A line drive opening kick. It will bounce into the end zone. So Bethpage will start on their own 20, and they are led onto the field. You see him there, number 7, Sean Smith. What a great story Smith has been. You see his numbers on the year. 12 of 34 for 251 and 2 touchdowns. An interception, is also close to 100 yards rushing. He's kicked 6 of 7 point after attempts as well. Smith, he got his baptism by fire as a sophomore. It was ironically a game that we broadcast on the Varsity Media Sports Network against Lynbrook. It was that COVID spring season, and the Golden Eagles were a little bit banged up. They had some contact tracing guys out, so he came up the week of that game from the JV and has never left the varsity since. Smith under pressure. Look out. He fumbles the football. It is loose. And it looks like Bethpage does recover, but Plainedge's defense certainly bringing it there. Vinny Petzold, 77, was right in the middle of that. So already Plainedge defensively, Tom, bringing the heat.
Yeah, I think Bethpage was hoping to catch him by surprise. We're all talking run, so they went a little play action. But Petzold is a guy whose name I think you may call a lot today. He's tough to block, and that whole Plainedge line there got some penetration. This is a tough spot now for Bethpage, second and looks like about 20.
And it's exactly where they didn't want to be, right? That second and very long. But Smith, last year even as well, right, was the backup to Luke Galgano, who broke his collarbone, so Smith then had to jump in as the starting QB. A short carry on second down. Let's take a look at the starting offense for Bethpage here this afternoon. You mentioned Smith before. You've got McMullen and Dupre as your 2 halfbacks. JoJo Miranda, your fullback. Tarabakia and Jensenger as your tight ends. Up front, Lennis, Elshami, Ackerley, Tangle, and Espinal for, again, first-year head coach Pete Zito, a 1998 graduate of Bethpage High School, a varsity assistant for 11 seasons. 3rd and 19 for the Golden Eagles. Smith forced to go back and pass, and that one is incomplete. While we get a chance, let's take a look at the Plainedge starting defense, which earned a 3-and-out on their first stop. It's Licata, Petzold, and Chadwick, along with Casase up front. Your linebackers are Marks, Mosia, and Anglem. Your corners are Jack Cavalieri and Braden Dunellen, and your safeties are Vinny Cavalieri and Anthony Gentili. So the unenviable situation here for Bethpage, you are punting from your own end zone. And as we saw last night out at Farmingdale, the snap has to be dead on perfect, and it was. Fair catch caught, fumbled, and that's starting to be returned. I wonder if there's going to be a flag. I thought there was a fair catch called, so a bit of a miscue there by Anthony Gentili, so he'll get backed up. He made the fair catch call. There you see Rob Shaver, the head coach, right in the middle of that huddle in his 27th season. 176, 80-1 overall. 5 Nassau 3 championships, and he's led by quarterback Caden Mora. You see him there, number 7, right in the mix. You could say everything that Mora doesn't do, right? But that's what he look at that completion percentage, nearly 78%. Ridiculous. 378 and 5 touchdowns as well. He's also got 19 carries and 3 touchdowns on the year. Terrific field position for Plainedge. They start at the Bethpage 34, and it's Mora getting to about the 31. Let's take a look at those starters offensively for the Red Devils. Joining Caden Mora, you've got Casase as the running back. Dunellen, Cavalieri, Gentili are your wide receivers. Marks is your tight end. Chadwick, Licata, Petzold, Travato, and Cito. All Vinnies on that right side of the line. Second and 6. Look at that run by Joe Casase. Physical runner. And Casase gets a first down for Plainedge. Let's look at the starting defense for Bethpage. It's a 4-4. It's Lazaridis, El Shami, Singh, and Lennis. McMullen, Miranda, Tarabakia, and Geller. Your corners are Smith and Dupre, and your safety is John Pelcher. 1st and 10 from the Bethpage 18. Little trickery here. Man in motion was Mora. He comes out, and a great job reading that play, getting out and making the tackle. 22 is Joe Miranda.
Yeah, that's a great play. Bethpage needed to get a stop there. 2 plays, even the first play, they fall forward for 4 yards. You know, Bethpage has to try to, they got to get a stop on first down. They can't let them, keep chipping away. This Plainedge offensive line looks great.
2nd and 12, inside handoff. And this is the other part of the running attack that you get. Shane Mosia breaking ahead, and Casase and Mosia so similar, right? They're both going to be those physical, tough runners. You sprinkle in a little bit of Jack Murray in there as well, and on a run-heavy offense.
Yeah, and these guys, that's a run where he gets hit, but he gets 3 more yards after the contact, and here's Casase again.
Casase breaks some tackles, and he is in to the end zone. A 14-yard touchdown run for Joe Casase.
I mean, he looks like he's running downhill, right? I mean, he is going to take this and just bounce it outside, and watch how he turns his shoulders upfield, and it's just downhill, not going to be denied.
So Plainedge draws first blood in this one through Joe Casase. The 14-yard touchdown run. It's James Cork for the PAT. That is up, and it is good. Cork has been money this year. He's now 21 of 22 in point after attempts. Great start for the Red Devils. They are leading 7-0 in this Nassau Conference 3 showdown, presented by Orland & Cohn right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Welcome back to Edward Byrne Memorial Stadium. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney here with you. It is Plainedge with the 7-0 lead on that 14-yard touchdown run by Joe Casase. McMullen is deep, and Cork, a terrific kicker and punter. There he goes again. End over end. It is fielded at the 1-yard line. Bethpage trying to return it here. It's McMullen up the far sideline. And a healthy return from McMullen, as Bethpage will look to respond, now down 7-0. The Golden Eagles, you see them making their way onto the field. They are without, at least we believe he'll not play, Anthony Falabella. He's a big two-way starter for them, both at linebacker and also at left tackle. That's where Lennis has stepped in his stead, but Falabella dislocated his elbow in the preseason, so he's missed the first 4 weeks, has just been cleared, but he's only had 2 practices coming into this game, so but a 3-year starter at that is Falabella. 1st and 10 from the 22, an inside run. And again, the Plainedge defense swarming. You see Moja there. We'll say his name a bunch. Makes the tackle on McMullen.
Yeah, Bethpage, a little better field position this time around. I think this is, a big series right here. You don't want to punt this ball right back to Plainedge the way they just ran the ball at you. We'll see. Right now, Plainedge is getting a lot of penetration off the D-line.
And what a D-line that is. It's anchored at D tackle by Vinny Petzold. We'll talk more about him as this game goes on, but the big man up there, as good as it gets. And again, you see they try to get right into the heart of that defense, and it is not easy to run into those D tackles. You've got Petzold at 6'1", 290, a guy who Rob Shaver says, Tom, as close to a major D1 lineman as we've ever had here. He is a weight room monster.
Yeah.
When we spoke to him this week, he said, oh, by the way, Vinny's in the weight room right now. He just squatted 600 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, he's not just big, too. I mean, he's quick. You could see him get off the ball. Right now, Bethpage is in a spot up. They're having trouble blocking him, but they're having trouble blocking a few guys up there. 3rd and 8, like we said, is not where they like to be.
And no receiver, so they're going to just continue here to try to run the football. Moja thought he might blitz. It is thrown incomplete. The intended target there was Kyle Jensenger. And again, not the way you want to start for Bethpage. 2 3-and-outs inside your own 30, both of them. And now you're forced to punt and give the Red Devils some really good field position.
Yeah, they tried to do a little bootleg pass there. Casase wasn't buying it. He came in off the edge. Got a good hit on Sean Smith, who looks a little shaken up over there.
End over end punt by the backup quarterback, Robert Rothenberger. And the Plainedge Red Devils will get going from midfield. So Plainedge, after scoring on their first possession, they will get going here from the 50-yard line. Let's take a look at the standings in Nassau Conference 3. Just now with the added PowerPoints after Week 4. So you see Plainedge on top. Cary, new to Conference 3. Mike Stanley's guys, 3-1. They're second, but you see how tight it is, right? From 2 to 4. Cary, Wantagh, Bethpage, and then right behind that, also close, right, between Roosevelt, Manhasset, and Floral Park right behind them.
Yeah, Cary, I thought played Plainedge. It's 28-0, so
sure.
Obviously Plainedge is the better team, but they played them well. It's interesting because they'll probably see each other again in the playoffs.
Yeah, Cary, that at least for the last few years, right, that Nassau Conference 2 team, they're now to 3 again. It's all about enrollment in the Long Island public schools. 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. A little shake, a little bake by Caden Mora. Breaks a tackle, gets to the far sideline, and he'll get himself, looks like a first down.
That's one of those, we talked to Coach Shaver. He talked about how they want to run the ball, but they don't just line up and run. They're very creative in their alignments. And there you saw something that I haven't seen on film. They went a trip set all the way left, and they ran the ball with Mora. Very effective, 10 yards.
Mora also plays basketball and lacrosse here at Plainedge. As you see there, longtime head coach Rob Shaver there with the headset on. Handoff to Cassess. Again, he doesn't try to run around guys. He will run through them, and he gets to about the 33-yard line.
Yeah, that's the third run for Cassess off that left tackle, little counter. They pulled one of the linemen, and they're in a spot where they love to be, 2nd and 4, and Cassess running downhill.
That left tackle that you referenced, TJ Chadwick, 2-year varsity player, good leader, one of the captains of this team. Another handoff. This time it's Moja. Spins like a top, pushes himself forward, gets it, looks like, to the 29-yard line, which should be just shy of the first down marker. And it's funny, when we spoke to Shaver, we were like, all right, so who's your starting running back? He said it's kind of both, right? Because they share so much of it. Mostly, too, because they're both also playing on the defensive side, right? So you want to spell one guy. See more under center now. Maybe trying to draw Bethpage off with a hard count. Handoff. Look at Moja. First down and more. Get off of me, says Shane Moja. Touchdown, Plainedge.
Well, you called it. The first time it was Cassis. This time it's Mosia. Coach Shaver said, I don't know which guy you would say is the starter, and you're seeing it right now. It's 1 and 1A. Both are very similar. These guys are battling through contact. The yards after contact is unbelievable. You see him spin out of that tackle there. You said it's central casting. I mean, he is a big, strong, fast athlete.
Great in the classroom as well. Dad Craig played his high school football back at Holy Cross in Queens for the great Tom Pugh in the late 80s. One of New York's bravest, Craig Moja. PAT by Cork is up, and it is good. So Plainedge 2 for 2 on their scoring drives, and it's been a little bit of Joe Cassess and a little bit of Shane Moja. 14-0 Red Devils, 4:54 left in the first. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown presented by Orland and Cohen and the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
Welcome back to North Massapequa. The backyard brawl is right now all Plainedge as McMullen from the goal line tries to make a return. A little bit, maybe too much east-west and not north-south on that one. Only gets out to the 14-yard line. And listen, it's still a first quarter. There's still 4:48 left in the first. So much of the game going forward. But you already get the sense, because of what we've seen from Plainedge on both sides of the ball, this would appear to be a very important drive for Bethpage.
Yeah, the ball has not crossed the 50. Plainedge has driven the ball down. Plainedge has punted the ball. Bethpage has punted the ball back. They got to get out of their own end. They got to at least flip the field. I know they're looking for a spark here. They're over there trying to figure out how can we get 5-6 yards right now and get us going.
They show for the first time the wide receiver option. That's Jake Geller at the bottom of your screen. And also a new look at quarterback, right? So you mentioned it, Smith being a little bit banged up perhaps. It's Robert Rothenberger, number 8. He's the backup QB, the punter, a junior. There you see number 8. And, man, it is almost right on as it would appear now that Smith is coming back in, so maybe it was just one play and out. But, man, the injured Bethpage quarterback and the backup coming in, that seems like it's been an ongoing theme these last couple of years, again, with this guy serving as the backup to a guy, a terrific athlete in Luke Galgano.
Right. It's kind of how Smith got put in the quarterback spot to begin with. But they've changed. They're out of the they're back in the wishbone now, it looks like, or a variation. They're going to try to run the ball here.
And he runs it right in. See Moja in the middle of it. You saw Jack Murray, number 11, as well in the middle. You see big 77, Vinny Petzold. And this is a little bit of the problem for Bethpage, right? Because they're not like that big strike offense. You're not in a spread, obviously. You're playing the wishbone. And as you mentioned before, Tom, the wishbone is made for those 4 or 5 yards at a time, unless it's a team that's not going to tackle. And we already know Plainedge does that as good, if not better, than anybody else.
Yeah, the one thing you see on tape right away is Plainedge very rarely misses tackles. They fill holes very fast. Bethpage, and by the way, they just called the timeout so they could pin them back in this end. Bethpage has tried a couple different formations. I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe try to spread them out because you're having no success tackle to tackle. Maybe you got to get on the edge.
Plainedge has had an incredible history of success. You see it there. Currently a 16-game winning streak. They are 35-3 since 2018. You got 3 Nassau Conference 3 titles since 2018, a pair of LICs as well. And again, the architect of so much of that, although he'll credit others as well as the community. There's a lot of things that have to come to a winning program, but Rob Shaver's been right at the heart of that all. 3rd and 10. Look out. Moja comes. And it is an incomplete pass as Smith is sent to the ground.
Well, they did try to spread him out like we thought they might. The problem is Shane Mosia came right up the middle, and, if you don't block number 32, you're not going to have a lot of success.
Now you see it again. Watch 32 right in the middle, right, that middle linebacker spot. Look how quickly he gets to the quarterback. And he does so unblocked.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to deal with Moja when you get a hat on him, right? But when he has free reign.
I mean, Smith can't even get through a read right now without backpedaling.
So Rothenberger, a high punt. It will take a Bethpage bounce, but again, it's right at midfield, which to this point has been the worst field position for Plainedge. It's been going that way for the Red Devils, but again, back to Shaver and Island Trees grad 87. He said, listen, he came in and it wasn't all blue skies in the very beginning, right? He had an 0-8 season, an 0-8 season before that. And it took probably until 2001. He came in 1996 until 01 for it to really start buzzing. He had 50 guys in that team. That was a championship team from an 18-man roster when he first started, so...
And I think it's a great lesson for communities and administrators. He's 0-8 in his first year, right? I mean, I'm sure people around here were saying, who's this new coach? What has he got? But it took him about 4 years, and he said that, to build the culture. Next thing you know, he's got 50 guys, and they're winning.
And they have 1 and 1 and 1. Mora over the top, and that was incomplete. Cavalieri, the intended target. And then when you win, you get the community buy-in, you get crowds like this, you get a stadium like this as well, which is really second to none in Nassau County. And incredible. There you see the look from our GoPro. What a look, what a stadium here in North Massapequa.
Yeah, and you can kind of feel, you see all these little kids walking around with Plainedge football shirts. This is an event in town. Everybody's here. They want to be here. They want their kids to play Plainedge football. He's done a great job.
2nd and 10. Mora looks to run. This time the Bethpage defense looks like they've got him wrapped up. Great pursuit, pushing him back to the 45-yard line.
That's a great play. Number 58, Michael Lazaridis.
And there you see some of those young kids right there, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Future Red Devils, part of the youth program out here.
This is what they want. They want the big crowd, the homecoming game. But that was a tremendous play by Lazaridis right there. And this is the first time all day. It's 3rd and long.
Yeah.
Bethpage defense needs a stop right here.
Lazaridis, 15 tackles on the season. Athletic, lanky, has that really good first step. 3rd and 13, and we'll have a timeout by Plainedge. So, yeah, Bethpage, when you talk about the Golden Eagles, they had certainly a terrific era, right, of greatness, and we'll take a look at a little bit of that right now. You got those 3 Rutgers Cups in 93, 95, and 02. A 32-game winning streak, right? That is not easy to do from 93 to 95. Those 5 Long Island championships, 13 since 88, 16 overall. And it's funny, too, because when you talk about coaches, right, it's Howie Votes, who is the all-time winningest coach in Nassau County. You had Irwin Dill right after him, a longtime coach for Bethpage. Roddy McCoy took over for a few years. He's a Bethpage guy. So is Pete Zito. So it's literally been all in the family from one coach to the next. And as Zito said, it's an awesome responsibility, but one that he absolutely loves.
Yeah, the way he spoke about Bethpage football, it's special to him. It's special to that community, and he's doing a good job.
Off the timeout, 3rd and 13, Mora rolls right, floats one ahead, and that is complete. Vinny Cavalieri, we said in the open, big play Cavalieri, and another one for the senior.
So I'm so impressed with Caden Mora right here. You know, he sets himself. He has a couple of receivers, and he just takes his time, and he knows just get the ball out to Cavalieri. He's a great athlete. He'll go up and get it.
Cavalieri, not done yet, makes a run to the 20. He's chased down and tackled from behind.
Lazaridis again.
It is Lazaridis again, 58. The junior, quick off the ball. One of the biggest reasons he's at that defensive end spot is he's not one of those guys going both ways. You can rest him on the offensive side, unlike an El Shami or even a Hargun Singh, who we'll see get some reps at offensive line. 2nd and 9. And another great stop, and it is Lazaridis. Again, a one-man wrecking crew for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, he's doing a great job setting the edge over there, getting off the ball. Like you said, he looks fresh. I mean, he's exploding off the ball. Plainedge is having a little trouble tackling him. Now, and we say that, but yet Plainedge is in 3rd and 5. These guys fall forward. They find a way to get yards on every carry.
And Cork's got a great leg. But you almost feel like it's 4-down territory. Mora, that is complete at the 15, cutting inside. And it's Gentili this time, it looks like. But he will be short, it would appear, unless we're going to get a measurement here. The ball's at the 11-yard line. I think he's just short of the 1st down marker.
It'll be interesting to
they
see.
gave him the 1st down.
They did give him the first. I kind of wanted to see the field goal. This kid's got such a leg.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, you go back in the history of Red Devils kickers, and Dylan Burns is the very top of that list, a guy who went on and kicked at Albany on a scholarship, has the Long Island record. We'll get back to that in a second. As Cassess breaks a few tackles, he is so hard to get taken down. He lands at about the 4 or the 3. But back to Cork for a second. Burns, he was the top Long Island kicker, had a Long Island record 64 consecutive PATs in a row, had 150 in his career. And Rob Shaver says James Cork is as good as Dylan Burns.
Yeah, that's saying a lot. You know, Burns was unbelievable, and he thinks Cork is just as good.
2nd and goal from the 3. This guy's pretty good. Joe Cassess, his 2nd touchdown run of this first quarter.
We're going to see it again here, I think, Dylan. Look at the hole that this Plainedge line opens up. Right? You know, they seal it. Mosier gets a look, and Cassis just finds that crease. That is tough to stop on the goal line with Cassis angling downhill the way he does.
I think I saw TJ Chadwick there, 64, as part of that. Pushing the way. He's got his New Jersey, by the way. He had him at 76.
Right.
Rob Shaver wasn't sure if that New Jersey would come in, but so he goes from 76 to 64, and a terrific start for Plainedge. They lead this one 21-0 with 36 seconds left in the first quarter. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 Showdown presented by Orland & Cohen and the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Welcoming you back to Edward Byrne Memorial Stadium here in North Massapequa. It is the backyard brawl that is Bethpage and Plainedge, and so far it's Plainedge with a couple body blows to put Bethpage up against the ropes. They lead at 21-0 in the final stages of this first quarter. And another short return, and field position has been tough to come by for Bethpage, much like I think parking right now. If you're getting here to the stadium, it's not easy to get a parking spot around here. It's so packed, and it is hard for Bethpage as well to get that quality field position here in the first quarter.
You know, you saw Coach Shaver take 2 timeouts in the first quarter. There is a little bit of a breeze here, a little bit of wind. He keeps pinning them down in this corner, and it's worked. You know, you put them in a tough spot. They've been, behind the 8 ball to start, starting on the 15, having trouble on first down.
I think Bethpage here, probably more than anything, you don't need that quick hitter, but you need to move the chains, right?
Yes.
You need to have a sustained drive, which they've not been able to do. That's the guy that you want to try to do it. It's McMullen to the outside, and it's player to watch against player to watch, as it looked like again Moja. He goes sideline to sideline so quickly out of that middle linebacker spot. He makes the tackle.
Yeah, Moja always seems like he's moving forward, but you see Reed get to the outside and stop what looked like a promising run by McMullen.
And the first quarter will come to an end after that 2-yard run by Will McMullen. So Joe Cassess with 2 rushing touchdowns, Shane Moja with 1 of his own, and it is Plainedge leading Bethpage 21-0. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 Showdown presented by Orland & Cohen right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
Guys, when we spoke to Coach Schaefer earlier this week, we asked him what was the reason for the success and the turnaround for Plainedge. You have to remember, coming over in 1997, this was a completely different Plainedge program. They went 0-8 the year before that Schaefer took the job, 0-8 his first year. So he said he needed to change the culture. Well, what does that entail? That entails consistent practice effort. And by consistent practice effort, that means continuing to hit the weight room, show film, get players to buy in. He said over the course of 4 years, in 2001 is really when it clicked. He found the magic sauce, and now you look at the returns that it's gotten for Plainedge. A brand new field just 4 years ago. They're always knocking on the door, back-to-back LIC champions, and he said that it's this group that just loves the game of football more than anything else, and that's a testament to the culture that he's grown here at Plainedge. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, John. And Tom, to kind of piggyback off of John's point there too, is it's not necessarily like that sexy football, right? It is the hard work. It's the blue collar. So the buy-in that you need to have is, as he said, it's all the stuff, even not on game day, right? The weight room, they take it super seriously here at Plainedge. You bring your lunch pail every day. It's cliche to say, but it is so true here in this community and with this football program. And as you see, right, it's not going to be those long bombs for 80 yards, right? It's going to be those tough yards, those running between tackles. And that's been so much of the ingredients for the Red Devils' success.
Yeah, you could see it in the Plainedge kids. They're in the weight room. These guys are football players. You know, sometimes at schools you have guys that play other sports,
Sure.
and football is, you know, sort of the third option. These guys are football players. They're weightlifting guys. Coach Shaver talked about them watching a lot of film and being prepared. I mean, these guys, it's important to them, and you can see by the way they play.
Is Gentili breaks a tackle, gets towards that sideline, and again, the field position game has been so heavily tilted in Plainedge's favor. But yeah, in fact, right, when we spoke with Coach Shaver, it was the day of the Jewish holiday, right? So there was no school that day. He said, listen, our guys were already in the morning. They're right now in the weight room. Some guys are doing film. We've got a second practice coming up in the afternoon. But they love it, right? It was about to pour. I think there was the thunder and lightning in the vicinity, but it's run very much like a college program.
Yeah, and he credits, you know, the families, the community for, you know, buying into his culture. This is how you need to win in Nassau County football. You got to get in the weight room, right? You look at some of these linemen, and, you know, they're probably 20, 30 pounds heavier than they were last year because they've been lifting.
1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. A different look. You've got the backup QB as Domenico Moscato runs it to the outside. But also, again, that comes from Shaver. He's a wrestling guy, right? That was his background. And he brings that wrestling mentality, right? Like how when you're in the wrestling room, right? Like you can't hide, right? It's mano a mano. And that's so much, too, of what that mentality he brings to the football field.
Yeah, there's no excuses, and there's no egos, you know. These guys, I mean, we've seen probably 6 different people carry the ball.
Here's Mora, rolls out, just dumps it over. Wow, what a catch. Cassess, he had a range behind him, and it's not like Cassess is 6'4". He's 5'10", 190, an incredible grab, some terrific athleticism by the real tough physical runner that is Joe Cassess.
Yeah, he's going to be a college lacrosse player, and you can see what kind of athlete he is. You know, this ball is, you know, thrown behind him a little bit, one hand, little Odell Beckham action. It sets him up 3rd and about 11 here.
It goes to Cassess, runs right through the middle, breaks a tackle. Cassess into the secondary, and he's pulled down just shy of the end zone.
How many teams go fullback dive on 3rd and 11, right? These guys go, you know, fullback dive because you got Cassess going downhill, running through tackles. He comes up here, you know, a little hesitation, someone trying to submarine him. These guys are holding on for dear life.
Joe Cassess bringing it here at homecoming at Plainedge, and again sets up the Red Devils for a 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Cassess now to Mora's right hip, motioning as Cavalieri. Mora, the pitch to Cavalieri, cuts inside, touchdown Plainedge. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, really well executed play here. You got the lead block, and Mora's just playing, you know, he's a big-time basketball player. This is just 2-on-1 basketball, right? Draw the defender, and then you're going to dish. You know, he looks like a point guard right there. Well blocked on the outside, and Cavalieri walks in.
So Cork is on for his 4th PAT attempt. He is a perfect 3 of 3 today. Has only missed 1 this season. James Cork, his kick, of course, it is good. 28-0 for Plainedge. A terrific start on a beautiful day here in North Massapequa. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 Backyard Brawl, presented by Orland & Cohn right here in the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network. the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
We welcome you back to North Massapequa with Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney, and looks like a couple thousand folks here out at Plainedge High School. The Red Devils with a 28-0 lead. Tom, they are lined up. There's a snack stand beyond this field down on the left side of our broadcast booth. You've got folks lined up right around it. There's not a seat to be had here in the bleachers.
Yeah, it's very telling because there's also about 100 kids playing pickup football in the back. It feels like you're either here watching football or you're playing football. All of Plainedge is out right now, and they're enjoying it.
And that's not what you need to do here if you are Bethpage. You fumble, and it is loose. It looks like Plainedge has recovered. They have! The ball fumbled. Looked like that was Rothenberger, 8. And then the Red Devils have come away with it.
Nope. Yeah, great pursuit by Plainedge. Unfortunate right now. Bethpage is, the wheels are coming off a little bit, and this is not the team to face when you're struggling.
Plainedge, they are a shark in water. They smell blood here. 9:02 left in the second quarter. And this is incredible field position now off of that fumbled kickoff return. They've got a first and goal from the 10. Pick your poison.
There you go. Mosier and Cassis in the backfield.
Mora chased down. Goes to the corner. And some physicality there, just shy of the goal line. Mora forced out at the 1.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to leak Mosey out to the flat. Bethpage defended it well, but Mora's a very cool customer. He realizes his main target's covered, and he just tucks the ball and gets positive yards.
He's forced out at the 2, so it's a second and goal from the 2-yard line. Cassis, why not? It's a hat trick of touchdowns for Joe Cassis.
And I think it's number 71, Vinny Travato here, with a big push, pulls around, gets his hands on people, and he walks in.
Yeah, that's the thing about Travato as well, right? You look at him, 71, and he has that look of a college lineman, right? 6'7", 270. The most improved lineman by a lot. And that says a lot on this team of terrific linemen as well. So Cork back out. And the PAT is up. And it is good. All Plainedge here. 35-0. Midway through this second quarter. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 Showdown, presented by Orland & Cohen on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring.
Welcome back to North Massapequa, 35-0 for Plainedge over Bethpage. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney, and our entire crew here at Varsity Media. Cork, a bouncer. It's fielded at about the 14-yard line. Look out. Oh, man, Jaden Diaz. I don't know if he got the number of that truck.
Big hit by number 42, Jake Anglum.
But it was Jake Anglum with the hit. And again, Plainedge or Bethpage just spinning their wheels right now.
Yeah, this is another tough spot. You're inside your own 20. You haven't been able to field the last two, kickoffs. They need a spark. I think you said it before. This isn't about scoring touchdowns right now. This is about moving the ball, keeping the ball out of Plainedge offense hand, and trying to just establish yourself. They've been almost going backwards the entire game.
And also with the 35-0 score, you can see at the bottom of your screen, we've got running time now. Another short handoff, and not much, if anything, there for Bethpage.
So they have the backup quarterback, Rothenberger, in the game right now. And I think they're just trying to give Smith a breather. He's going both ways.
Yeah, he's right now. You can see Smith. There he is.
Yep.
And we saw this in the last drive as well, where when they had the ball the last time, where Rothenberger ran the first play and it allowed Smith. And Smith's a guy, too. They try to get him off the field, right? But he kicks, he punts. He's on defense, right? So not ideal, obviously, right? But he's such a terrific athlete.
And he's taking some hits here
100%.
Today, Dylan, too.
And Zito said, we want to get him as much rest as we possibly can. 2nd and 11. Smith, look out. A host of Red Devils come flying in.
Oh, boy.
And it is Petzold right in the middle of it. Big 77 in there. You had 13 as well. Bobby Marks.
And Mosier. I mean, right now this is a tough spot. You're trying to spread them out. I get what Bethpage is trying. They went to the spread. And then, I think it's a great idea. He doesn't get a great snap. By the time Smith turns, he's got Mosier and Petzold and these guys in his face. This is tough.
Bobby Marks, part of that linebacking crew, physical, strong, has done a good job blocking as well. And he's a guy, too. They don't throw it to him often. They haven't had to, but has really good hands as well. 3rd and a very long 20. Smith has to air it out, goes this near sideline. It is intercepted. Here comes Braden Dunellen. And Ellen is pulled down by McMullen inside the 15-yard line.
Well, Coach Shaver, he called it the other night on our call. He said Dunellen is our best man-on-man, cover guy. This is his 3rd interception of the season. He came in with 2. Does a great job of just reading the ball. And then a nice return to cap it off.
He is hard to get away from, the words from Rob Shaver. And with 5:42 and counting, Plainedge can really put the hammer down here on homecoming and have a really comfortable lead and perhaps even go to their bench earlier. And that's part of the thing, too. The funny thing about being a Plainedge, we told you those results earlier. These guys, these starting offensive guys, they don't play a lot of the game, right? And look at this. You go back up. It doesn't matter. Michael DiMatteo, touchdown, Plainedge.
Yeah, that was backup quarterback, backup backfield. And nice job by DiMatteo here. He kind of finds his way through.
Look at that hole,
a bunch of traffic. Great job up front by those guys.
Pancakes all around. You see Petzold pinning his guy. And it's funny, too, right? Because Petzold and Travado, the center and the right guard, that's 6'1", 290, 6'7", 270. They are literally wrestling partners as well. Imagine those dudes going at it.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that.
We'll stay in the booth. We'll do the commentary for that. Cork's PAT is up, and it is good. So 42-0 here for Plainedge. 5:14 left in the first half. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown presented by Orland and Cohen on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Welcome back to Plainedge. It's Edward Byrne Memorial Stadium. It's homecoming, and the community here in North Massapequa, the Plainedge community, a lot to celebrate right now. It is all Plainedge in this backyard brawl, this old school rivalry, looking for a 7th consecutive win over Bethpage. They are well on their way, leading at 42-0 with 5:14 left in the first half.
Dylan, you don't see this kind of execution normally at the high school level. There's been almost no mistakes by Plainedge. You know, they're on every block. They're not jumping off sides. We haven't seen a penalty. You know, they kick the ball deep. They cover. It's a clinic right now.
Corks kickoff fielded at the 9. And hats to the football. McMullen, again, a short return. We've got a lot of great football coming up as well here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. How about a battle of undefeated teams in the Catholic High School Football League? 5-0 Holy Trinity, 5-0 Kellenberg. It's the Firebirds homecoming. That's tomorrow at 1. Should be a lot of fun. Then we're out at Cy Donnelly Field for Dante Torres. Ian Strong and the Friars taking on Fordham Prep next Friday. We are also at Cold Spring Harbor for a Nassau Conference 4 battle between Cold Spring Harbor and East Rockaway. And then we close out next weekend with another Catholic football showdown from Mitchell Athletic Complex. It is Zavarian out of Brooklyn against St. Francis Prep. 7 o'clock kick for that one.
Yeah, a lot of good games coming up. So Bethpage back in the wishbone. Little miscommunication there, but Rothenberger turned it into a couple yards.
And there you see Smith there as well, and you got to think too. It's hard for Bethpage. It's an emotional game. It's a rivalry game, so there's even more emotion. It's probably hard for them not to look at the scoreboard. I mean, the good thing I guess for them is it's behind them, literally
right
on the far sideline. But it's cliche to say, but it's literally about the next play, right? It's about putting together a drive, not worrying about getting all of those 42 points back. It's about just getting better against, let's face it, the best team you're going to face this year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no shame in struggling against Plainedge. Almost everybody has, and we've seen over the last couple of years their success. But they got to try to string some success together because this is about moving forward, right? There's plenty of season left for Bethpage. You know, everybody has a bump in the road. You got to, get back to the film room and figure some stuff out. But right now, they want to show the guys across town, guys that they've grown up with and know all their life, that they can play this game too.
Yeah, we mentioned it, right? A unique rivalry in that it's a shared zip code between Bethpage and North Massapequa. So it could be literally be your next door neighbor. It could be a Bethpage kid, and you could be a Plainedge kid. 3rd and 10. There's the handoff to McMullen, and just kind of pushes forward. We'll get about 3 there, but it'll be a 4th down for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, and you can see why McMullen's had a lot of success coming in here. He's a tough kid, spinning out of tackles. Plainedge just kind of swarms, and he's not able to break, free. And Bethpage is going to be forced to punt again.
It'll be Rothenberger to do so. And nobody deep here for Plainedge, so either they think it's going to be a fake or they'll just kind of concede here. The field position takes a nice bounce, and Plainedge will start at their own 46 here, under 2 minutes left in the first half. Want to thank the fine folks at the Yes Network for their partnership, teaming up with them to bring high school football to more fans on the Yes app. Our broadcast, this one included, now simulcast on the Yes Network app. All those games that we showed you as well, the upcoming schedule, also on the Yes Network app. Tom, it's so great to be able to bring high school football to even larger audiences, and that's what the Yes app has allowed us to do.
Yeah, we know how popular the Yankees are. They're about to start their playoff run, so that's it's bringing some great football, right? Some great football to the masses, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean you've got the Yankees, you've got NYCFC and Major League Soccer, you've got the Brooklyn Nets, and you got us. So that's a nice group to be in with. First down run. A stout defense there by Bethpage, as we are under 2 minutes left here in this first half.
I think you'll see Plainedge run a lot up the middle. I think they understand what the score is at this point. I can't imagine Coach Shaver is looking to embarrass anybody.
Not at all.
So, Bethpage is going to have to, they know it's coming. They're going to have to tackle.
Another inside run and another push forward, and that's where you get those big dudes up front where they earn their money a little bit, right? Where you saw the push there by Nick Girardi, number 44.
Yeah, there's something in the way they teach these running backs. There's a fall forward factor here that even when they get hit, they seem to get 3 or 4 yards.
Inside the final minute now, running time again, as we mentioned. When you get to 35 points or over, we want to let the folks know as well. We'll have a cool a halftime food review as we try to do every game. Nice hit there defensively. There hasn't been a lot to cheer about for Bethpage, but that was a good-looking tackle. You see Raymond Renison in, number 4. He was a big part of that tackle. I think Geller, right, as well, was at 14?
Looked like 14 as well, yeah.
And Plainedge will not have to run one more play as this clock will wind down. They've already left the field. You see them getting ready to go into the locker room, and Bethpage will do the same. And we will take a break with them as well. Halftime here in North Massapequa, and it's Plainedge with a 42-0 lead over Bethpage. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown presented by Orland & Cohn on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring. Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to halftime here at Plainedge. Dylan Butler, Ben Turchin with you here inside the booth, and the halftime food review has become epic here at the Varsity Media Sports Network, and it feels like kind of everyone's trying to one-up each other, right? Whether it's the local businesses or, in this case, a little bit of the Booster Club.
That's right. Yeah, we were at Cary a couple of weeks ago for the Cary Plainedge game, and the Cary Dads Club, they wowed us with their lemonade and their all kinds of food that they gave us. So we threw out a challenge to Plainedge today because we knew we were coming. And this is what they came up with. They wanted to one-up them so much, Dylan, that they brought a food truck here for homecoming.
Just for us.
Just for us.
Amazing.
What a job that the Plainedge Quarterback Club did. Shane Mosier, Rich Gentile, and everybody over here at Plainedge, they wanted to win this bad. They're competitive.
So that's the East Coast street tacos, right? Handcraft. We got some great ones here, right?
Yep.
We have chicken, we've got beef, right?
Yep.
This is amazing. First of all, when you brought it in before, it was hard to pay attention. It smelled so good.
Yep.
Here in the press box.
And they get credit. Now, it may not be them cooking it, but the fact that they brought the truck over because
Listen,
they're so
like the
competitive.
offensive linemen. Just because someone else gets a touchdown,
Right.
Vinny Petzold gets credit, doesn't he?
Yes.
He gets the block.
Yep.
All right, so
Absolutely.
here we go.
So now we got to try this. Oh, yeah.
All right, so I got the chicken. Ben got the beef there.
Uh-huh.
The flavor is incredible. And everything's super fresh, too. The chicken, cilantro in here. Really, really good.
Flavors everywhere. Like you said, ground beef is so tasty. They even double. Let me get a zoom in here. I love when they double the actual taco, so you're getting two tacos because there's so much food.
Nobody wants a soggy taco.
Right, but
And
also
it falls out all over the place.
look how much beef they're giving us here.
Yeah, no joke.
You got to really credit the Plainedge Quarterback Club. They knew what they were doing today. They had a lot of weeks to prepare for this, and they came strong.
They win 16 games in a row, not because of everything on the field.
Right.
It's everything that surrounds it as well here in Plainedge.
What a championship culture from football to food here at Plainedge.
The tacos, yes. It's not just for Tuesdays, folks. We'll take a break. We're going to get the crew fed here as well. Halftime at Plainedge. It is all Red Devils right now with a 42-0 lead here on homecoming. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown presented by Orland & Cohen on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring. Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles, out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring. Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring. Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director.
Welcome back to Edward Byrne Memorial Stadium. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney. We are well fed now, and certainly Plainedge doing a lot of eating in that first half as well. The Red Devils with a 42-0 lead. Again, want to thank their booster club there for those terrific tacos that we and the entire staff were able to enjoy there at halftime.
Yeah, tacos were great. You know, looking back on the first half, when you have a homecoming game, you have a rivalry game, you know, you always build it up in your mind. You kind of want to play perfect, right? You know your neighbors are in the stands, your family and everything else, and Plainedge did just that in the first half. You know, they came out and executed in all phases. You know, every extra point, every kickoff, you know, almost every defensive snap. I don't know if we have the rushing stats, but Bethpage is, you know, bottled up the entire first half.
Yeah, the scoring summary, it's Joe Cassess started things off with a 14-yard run. Shane Mosia followed with a really terrific 31-yard touchdown run, kind of threw a dude away as he scampered into the end zone. Cassess again for 3 yards. Vinny Cavalieri with a 5-yard and that toss right, and then Cassess rounded it out with a 2-yard score. And actually, wait, there was one more. I think I'm even missing a touchdown.
Yeah, our guy DiMatteo.
Yes.
Michael DiMatteo had a nice run there at the end. We don't want to leave Michael out.
We do not. So we'll have the opening kickoff here, and again, it will be running time when the score goes more than 35-0. James Cork. This one is fielded inside the 20. Short return there by Rothenberger to the 20, to the 30. We send it to the third member of our broadcast team, John Perez, with a report about a Bethpage legend who is lost too soon.
Well, guys, Bethpage losing one of its own legends over the past month, and that's the passing of head trainer Joe Colleen, who passed away at 60 years old. He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer a year ago. This year contracted COVID-19 and pneumonia, and unfortunately passed away midway through September. And if you remember last year on the Varsity Media Sports Network, Bethpage did a fantastic job over at the high school, quote, doing Joe's Fight is Our Fight, a fundraiser giving donations towards the Colleen family, and our thoughts and prayers obviously go to Bethpage. And, you know, when you do speak to anybody at Bethpage and stories that they have of Joe Colleen, it's always stories of reverence and remembrance and how much he cared about the kids. Even when he was sick, he was still always wondering about how the children's health was and whether they were an athlete or not. he always had his phone available and was somebody that Bethpage could rely on. He'll be truly missed at Bethpage. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, John. And yes, heavy hearts for the entire Bethpage community, certainly with that loss. And you go around, and certainly a beloved figure throughout the Bethpage community. So,
yeah, those are the kind of guys that link generations. You can come back and you see a familiar smiling face, and he'll be missed.
That's Pelcher with the run. John Pelcher pushing forward. He's a guy who starts as a safety athletic kid, also a basketball player. He played a little bit of linebacker on JVs, kind of always filling those alleys defensively on runs, but there's Pelcher getting the rock on offense and a quality run there on first down.
Yeah, while John was doing his report, Michael Manelli had a nice run up the middle, and Bethpage is kind of going their base wishbone here and doing a nice job running the ball.
2nd and 4. Another handoff. It's Pelcher again, trying to get out toward midfield, as we would expect. Certainly some newer faces for both teams in a lopsided game. You know, it's a fierce rivalry, but it's one played with the utmost respect as well. So you mentioned it in that first half, nobody looking to run up scores and nobody trying to, keep starters in longer than they have to be. And this is a great moment, too, for a lot of these guys, maybe who don't get a chance. A Pelcher again, he plays on the defensive side, but now a chance to maybe get a couple carries on the offense. And conversely, some guys on the defensive side, they get a chance as well to make some plays.
Yeah, these kids are excited to play. For a lot of them, it's an opportunity to show the coaching staff, maybe what the future is. Most of these guys out there are younger guys, and this is the experience that you need. It's always a little nerve-wracking when you play your first games. You get all that experience in a game like this. You're just a little bit more prepared when it's your time to start.
Bethpage, this first drive of the second half, their best of the game to this point. They've moved the football into Plainedge territory, and another really good run there on first down as well. Looked like that was Bryce Wiley, 27.
Yeah, nice job. Picked a hole, kind of danced around the tackle.
So Wiley gets to the 40, a second and manageable. 2nd and 2 for the Golden Eagles. Rothenberger in, another handoff to Wiley, and a nice looking tackle there by Nick Girardi.
Yeah, it's a great fill. You have to imagine that these backup linebackers here for Plainedge, have a great role model, right? In watching Shane Mosier at practice every day and his work ethic. And we talked about how often the coaches have to ask him to not talk through the defense because he tells everybody where to go, right? So these guys are learning from one of the best, to really ever do it at Plainedge High School. So that's a nice stop there and a good opportunity for that young man.
Yeah, funny you mentioned about Moja. It was the Roosevelt game that he missed with a strained quad, and it was in that game. Another handoff. Oh, there you go. Girardi on cue, that TFL for Plainedge. But Shaver says, we didn't quite know what we missed or how much we rely on him on the mental side of things. He said, because basically the other kids had no idea what was going on because they're so trained for Shane to call everything out. So there was a lot of coaching done that week and also this week. Shaver, as we said earlier, we told him you cannot talk. You're silent Shane this week. But the other side of Moja's game is that incredible physicality where Shaver says pretty much after every game, every coach you shake hands with says what an animal Shane Moja is.
Yeah, we saw that in the first half, going sideline to sideline, making plays. And, such a smart kid and smart in the classroom, but really a hard-working kid outside the classroom with trying to study film and be the best football player he can be, get every little edge. And, that's why he's one of the best.
And again, his dad, Craig, so active here as well, as many of the fathers are, played his high school football at Holy Cross for the great Tom Pugh. Was a really good player there as well, went on and played collegiate football as well after playing football at Holy Cross. A member of the FDNY, so you kind of see where Shane gets a lot of that from as well, right?
Yeah, Dad looks like he could still play. I think
he can.
He's in good shape. He's one of the many dads here in Plainedge that are, buying into this culture that Coach Shaver is pushing. It's do the right thing in the classroom, get in the weight room, study film. Football's important, and let's go win games.
Run there into Bethpage territory. He was a linebacker, Craig Mosier was at Union College as well, so continued on there. And now one of New York's bravest.
Yeah, good guy, good family, and Shane's got a future at the college level as well.
Certainly does. First and 10, high snap from the 47-yard line. And there is, we just saw him on the defensive side, right? It was Girardi, and he's thrown backwards there. A couple of Bethpage Golden Eagles getting a few grips.
Yeah, nice play there by, it looked like number 50, Aiden Wolf, getting upfield, wrapping up there, putting Plainedge behind the sticks.
Quarterback, you've got Domenico Moscato now, number 10. He's in, and that's the thing, too, about this Plainedge team. This isn't like the first reps for a lot of these guys. This is kind of what they're doing, right? I mean, Plainedge has gotten out to these big leads in the first half. A lot of these guys are kind of playing a half a game.
Yeah, they're able to handle their opponents. Normally, I think Carey probably took them into the fourth quarter, but some of these other games, they're out relatively early, and it's a huge advantage for these younger guys to get experience.
A 3rd and 8, again, running clock here, so third quarter flying by, less than 4 minutes left in it. And a timeout called by Plainedge. Let's take a look at their upcoming schedule for Red Devils. We mentioned before, perfect record. That Wantagh game could loom large, right? That should be a lot of fun. We know Keith Sachs is in attendance here this afternoon. They're at Hewlett, at Wantagh, and then home for Jay Iaquinta's Indians of Manhasset.
Yeah, Coach Sachs is here, and I'm not sure how he feels about it after watching that first half, how he feels about playing them in a couple of weeks. But he's a great coach. They got a lot of guys over there as well. That's going to be a great test for this Plainedge group. And listen, this Bethpage team is a good team. They caught behind the 8 ball really early in this game. They'll rebound, and they'll be better as well.
Listen, Keith just has to get one of those tacos. He'll feel fine.
Yeah, the tacos do make you feel better.
High snap, you go to the sideline. This is a run by Stavros Vardamaksos. He's out at about the 50-yard line.
So we're going to see our first punt, I think.
Yeah, well, for Plainedge at least.
For Plainedge, yep.
It is Cork to do so, and this is an aspect of his game that even Shaver said he's so good at punting the football as well, and there's times at practice they've got to dial him back and say, listen, we've got an elite kicking and punting game. Our opponents sometimes don't, so maybe try not to punt it as well as you do. Look at this one, another one inside the 20, his 4th this year inside the 20. He averages 32.7 yards for punts, and 43 is his long on the year. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for Bethpage after this one as they look to bounce back. You've got the Vision at home and that one too, right? That middle game for both teams is one you circle. Carey, Bethpage, that should be a really fun game out at Bethpage High School in week 7, and then they close it out week 8 at Valley Stream North.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Carey. I thought that they played this Plainedge team really well. I don't think the score really indicates how close that game was. They're tough, so that's going to be a really good test. Probably have a lot of playoff implications for Bethpage.
Got Will Tolliver for Carey leading the way on that side. Another Metzger as well, right? Those guys are always running around, whether it's lacrosse or football, and Mike Stanley, one of the best coaches around as well. So it's fun when you get a team like that who bounces. Again, they've been part of the fabric of Conference 2 for the longest, right?
Right.
But now you get into Conference 3, so you get these fun different matchups that you're not used to seeing, right? A Bethpage Carey, a Plainedge Carey. So they were that sort of unknown element to come into this season.
Yeah, and I think the way Carey is going, the way Plainedge is going, that there may be a rematch of those two guys in the playoffs.
And that could be a big game again for Bethpage, right? They're home for Carey. They want to bounce back. And the road is there. You could kind of see it, too, where maybe, again, if Bethpage has a really good game against Carey, both of these teams can maybe win out in their regular season. Two of the top seeds in Nassau Conference 3. So Plainedge recovers off of the fumble. So this is another part of the element. I'm sure when Pete Zito and his coaching staff, they go over this film, it's these kind of mistakes, the fumbles, the fumble on the kickoff. Like, you can't give a team as good as Plainedge this kind of field position.
Right. We talked a little bit earlier about how flawless Plainedge really played in the first half. I don't think Bethpage is going to say that when they sit and watch this film. I think they struggled a little bit with handling the ball, even on kickoffs and some of the snaps and things like that. You can't give Plainedge any edge, right? And they did with some miscues early.
So it'll be a first and goal from the 5 for the Red Devils. Inside handoff, the run. And it's Dean Visconti pushing forward. Visconti, a senior, getting his opportunity here, 5'11", 175, and that will be the final play of this third quarter. All Plainedge to this point. They lead at 42-0 over Bethpage. You're watching this Nassau Conference 3 showdown presented by Orland and Cohn on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. High school football fans, Varsity Media is bringing exciting, exclusive content to you for the 2022 season. Introducing the Varsity Media Pass, available on iOS and Android. Accessible all season long, the Varsity Media Pass features game highlights, weekly podcasts,
A clash of styles out in Setauket. We love those differing styles, right?
top 10 plays of the week, player interviews, and so much more. Head to varsitymediapass.com to download the app and start enjoying content only Varsity Media can bring. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
We welcome you back to Plainedge High School. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney here with you. Fourth quarter about to begin with a second and goal from the 5-yard line for Plainedge, who are comfortably ahead, 42-0. All of their scoring done in a dominant first half. Inside handoff, a fumble, and it will be Bethpage ball. So the fumble happens just shy of the goal line. And Tom, we mentioned at the beginning, John Perez on his first hit of the game talked about the keys to the game. Let's revisit those keys and kind of see where teams are here. And obviously considering the score, we know that Bethpage has not been able to move the ball offensively. At times they have matched physicality, but obviously up front, Plainedge has been so good, aligning correctly to make plays defensively. Again, it's been hard for them to make those plays, win first down defensively. That's a check mark. You underline it, you circle it. Explosive plays, they haven't actually needed it, right, today. Special teams field position has been big as well. That's been a massive key. So really for Plainedge's 3 keys, 1 and 3 have been huge. So much so you haven't needed 2.
100%, and they played right off each other. Right away, Bethpage gets the ball, cannot move it, right? They don't get anything on first down. They're forced to punt. Plainedge gets great field position and drives the field, right? And then it happens again and again, and Coach Shaver actually takes 2 timeouts in the first quarter, so Bethpage has to keep punting into the wind, and they pinned them. We watched a whole first quarter of a game from the 50, down because they can never get out of their own end.
And looks like Plainedge against Stavros with a big defensive play now after that run that we saw earlier. A lot of pride among these guys as well, right? They're not looking – they want to pin Bethpage deep as well. They want to keep that 0. And it's funny, too, when you look, it's 6 consecutive wins for Plainedge against Bethpage, but it's also back-to-back shutouts. So they're looking to get their 3rd consecutive shutout against Bethpage. That's been really impressive, again, when you consider this rivalry.
Yeah, that's not easy to do in high school with the amount of plays that just tend to pop and a blown coverage and, a fumble return, an interception return. So it just speaks to, my feeling is that Coach Shaver, when he gets that practice, he's coaching every one of these guys. You can see the way this group is lined up and they're playing. Everybody gets coached. Everybody's held accountable. It's a very deep team. There's a lot of really good players on the field right now.
That was Manelli there for the short run. It's a 4th and 2. Deep in Bethpage territory. The stars have come out, though, in that first half, certainly for Plainedge, right? Joe Cassis with 3 first-half touchdowns. Mogia, another one. They'll go for it here on 4th down, and they'll move the chains. The Golden Eagles will. Then Vinny Cavalieri had a 5-yard run. DiMatteo had a touchdown as well, and that's how you go into halftime at 42-0.
That backfield of Joe Cassis and Shane Mosia is really hard to deal with. They're both big physical runners. Coach Shaver told us, that they're very similar. They don't really have one's a power guy, one's a speed guy. They're both kind of speed and power, right?
And what's funny too, in the conversation that myself and Mike Hungerford had last night on the call of the Freeport-Farmingdale game, he challenged. He said, look at Pasilico and Sal Pasilico and Tomaso Ramos.
Right.
He thought maybe that's the best tandem. And I brought up these guys as maybe that's the only other 2 that you can think of. Certainly in Nassau County, maybe that you have that 1-2 punch like you have at Farmingdale and you have it here in Plainedge.
Yeah, and credit to both coaching staffs, Farmingdale and Plainedge, because they know they have 2 good backs and they kind of feed them both evenly, just kind of depending on the situation. But, those 2 guys at Farmingdale, Pasilico and Ramos, are excellent. These 2 guys are excellent. Maybe one of these years we'll get some non-league football games. I'd like to see, a Plainedge Farmingdale or a Plainedge Pequea.
How about like a Garden City Farmingdale? I mean,
how great
we have it in lacrosse, right? Like all these kind of matchups that you dream about.
Yep.
You get to see it in lacrosse. Unfortunately, because of the football schedule as it is, you don't get to see it here. Not in the public school league on Long Island. You do get to see it, obviously, with the Catholic League teams. Nice looking run there by Steven Segalis.
Yeah, nice run off the edge. But back to your point, listen, it's tough in football. The state sets down the rules and a starting date. Lacrosse, it's a lot easier, and the coaches do a good job. There's some great non-league matchups, but we get enough in-league matchups here in Nassau County football. And then on to the LIC and things like that, where you just have great football games.
But you think about it with the Catholic Football League, again, as an example, you've got your 8 league games, but then you have two other opportunities, right? A week 0, and you look at a St. Anthony's, right, where you go and they actually didn't play their week 0 game. That one was postponed or canceled. So they played Chaminade week 1. Then week 2, they went out to Jersey. They played at Rutgers, a big St. Joe's regional in Jersey, one of the top Jersey programs. And we saw that battle for the bridge. You'd love to kind of see something like that here. Now it's tough because Long Island champion. You really can't go Nassau-Suffolk because you could play each other in the Long Island championships. But yeah, I'd love to see.
Yeah.
If you don't get a power conference, which I think ultimately is what I would love to see, you'd like to maybe see one of these matchups that you dream about, maybe in a week 0 kind of a situation.
So, what did they score? Almost 100 points in that St. Anthony's, St. Joe's. It was
that was incredible.
61-49, something like that. That's actually where I started my teaching and coaching career, at St. Joe's Regional High School, on Vale, New Jersey. Yeah, you learn something new every day.
I didn't. I don't have that in my notes.
Yeah, great high school. Tony Karsich was the head coach.
Yes.
I was there 1 year. We won the state championship, beat Del Barton High School at Giant Stadium.
Memories for a lifetime, for sure. And nice stick there defensively. Visconti again. A big tackle. Under 5 minutes left in this fourth quarter.
And good for these Bethpage kids right now, Dylan. They recovered that fumble about the 3-4 yard line. They come out here. It says a lot about the coaching staff of Bethpage. These kids are playing hard. They're playing hard all the way to the end. They're driving this ball down the field. You know they'd love to just get one in the end zone right now. Just feel a little bit better. And they might get one.
Long run down this left sideline. It's Pelcher, and he will get in the end zone. There will not be 3 consecutive shutouts. John Pelcher finds the end zone for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, good for Pelcher. This was a good tough run here. Gets out of a tackle. Nice stiff arm and shows some good speed. Look at 27 getting down the field, throwing blocks. That's fantastic.
Yeah, Bryce Wiley. Those are always the dangerous ones. And those folks there, they've come to North Massapequa, haven't had a lot to cheer about. So a nice moment for the student body as well. And some happiness there for Bethpage. They will go for 2, and they will get it as well. So 4:24 left, 42-8. As Manelli gets the 2-point conversion. Want to again welcome in and thank the folks at the Yes Network app. We are excited to be teaming up with the folks at Yes Network's app to bring high school football to games to even more fans. Our broadcast now simulcast on the Yes Network app. We've got a great stretch of games as well. We'll show you those in a moment. All the upcoming games that we've had. We've got previous games. There they are. These will all also be on the Yes Network app. You've got Holy Trinity Kellenberg. That should be fun tomorrow, Tom.
Yeah.
Out at Mitchell Athletic Complex, 2 5-0 teams. A lot of social media chatter about that one. We'll leave it at that, right?
Yep.
Friday night out at Cy Donnelly, one of the best atmospheres on Long Island. Out at St. Anthony's, the Friars against Fordham Prep. We've got Cold Spring Harbor and East Rockaway in Nassau Conference 4. And then Zavarian and St. Francis Prep next Saturday night. Nice weekend, nice stretch of games ahead for you, and that's, of course, not it. You want to subscribe to us on all our social media channels as well, or follow us on our social media channels, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. We'll have further announcements of our schedule as we move forward.
Yeah, there's some great games there. That game tomorrow will be heated, I think, to say the least.
Kellenberg, 5-0. You've got Devin Page, the Page brothers, really, and that high-flying Holy Trinity team. Ball's fumbled out of bounds by Plainedge, Josiah Brown and Dylan Brathwaite, and Rocco Raynone, the quarterback. That one should be a lot of fun. A lot has been said about Holy Trinity. They went undefeated a year ago in a lower level championship. They've moved up in class, but this game tomorrow that we'll have for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network, really their first, in league, their first real step up in competition with the Firebirds of Kellenberg, first year head coach Eric Meisey, following the great Kevin Hannafin as well. That should be a great game.
Yeah, that's going to be a big test for Holy Trinity. They wanted to step up. They wanted, maybe a little bit more respect, or however you want to word it, and they're going to get a chance to get it tomorrow.
Yeah, you beat the Firebirds on their homecoming. You have earned respect. There is no doubt about that. Run to the outside. Stavros again with the run for Plainedge inside the final 2 minutes here. Heard our buddy Mike Quick along with Matt Sims this morning picking that game on their radio show. I think Mike went Firebirds on that one. So that might just feed into the no respect factor that Holy Trinity loves to seemingly live with, right?
Yeah, they got underdog mentality and disrespected mentality, and it's it will be on the locker room wall, I'm sure.
Another run to the outside for Stavros. We also want to remind everybody too in this final minute of this. Varsity Media Pass is your place to go. One-stop shopping for everything high school football on Long Island, as well as the Catholic Football League. Last week we had Ian Strong with us after their big win at St. Anthony's big win over Iona Prep. There you see it. Our top 10 plays. We have got a few there, right? We got a Red Devil even on the picture.
Yeah.
Some highlights, podcasts, so much more. Varsity Media Pass on iOS as well as Android.
Yeah, the Varsity Media Pass is awesome. If you're a high school football fan, you're a parent, you got to get the app.
And what you have to do here as well, you got to stick with us here for the post game, because we got Joe from Guac Shop. The Guac Shop post game show will be coming up momentarily. Final score: it's Plainedge, a convincing 42-8 win over Bethpage. The Red Devils' 7th consecutive win over their bitter rivals. Take a break, return for the Guac Shop postgame show right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
We welcome you back to Plainedge. It is time for the Guac Shop postgame show. We send it down to the field to John Perez.
Back here at Plainedge on the Guac Shop post-game show on the Varsity Media Sports Network. I'm here with our player of the game, Shane Moja. And Shane, statement victory against Plainedge. I know this is one of the better rivalries on the island. What statement did you guys make today?
We just showed that we have the best line on Long Island. We were able to bully them on offense and defense up front, and that's where we really get all our success from.
And defensively, too. What can you say about the secondary guys back there?
They did their job when they needed to. Obviously, Bethpage doesn't pass as much as other teams, but, we were ready. No surprises on us, and we just, let it fly.
And then the second half, you guys come in, super subs coming in. What can you say about the depth of this team?
Yeah, we have players on our second defense like Nick Girardi. Like, you see him out there, number 44, making plays. Like, he should be on the first team, He's that first-team caliber player that because the first team does our job, he gets to go out there and, show what he's made of.
All right, Shane, but we're going to show you what Guac Shop is made of. We got a very special offer. We're going to send it over to Joe from Guac Shop. Joe, take it away.
So Red Devils, because of their big win today, have won a free group dining for the whole team. You guys are all eating for free. That's right. So you guys could do that at home, $10.99 a person over at the Wantagh location, but these guys got it absolutely free.
Yeah. Pretty sweet deal, huh?
What?
Pretty sweet deal, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love it.
All right, guys, they love it. We'll send it back upstairs.
Thanks, John. And, Shane Moja and his boys, they're going to eat, Tom. Guac Shop post-game show. It's Guac Shop Mexican Grill. They've got those 5 locations. Garden City, Jericho, Wantagh, Freeport, New Hyde Park. We had the halftime food review from the Chaminade Cardinal Hayes game, and Shane, Red Devils, it's legit. You're gonna enjoy your taste of your free Guac Shop. They certainly ate a lot here today, especially in the first half. We mentioned it before. You jump out to a 42-0 lead, and you cruise against your biggest rival. Plainedge improves to 5-0 in Nassau Conference 3, extending their winning streak, not that anybody's counting, to 17. Over the course of the last 2 seasons, Bethpage falls now to 3-2 in Nassau Conference 3. I want to thank our entire crew here at Varsity Media. Executive producer Ben Turch and our technical director Chris Sweeney. We have Frank Gallagher and Ron Pierre bringing you all those moving images. For my broadcast partner, Tom Rooney, sideline reporter John Perez, I'm Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Plainedge High School, and we look forward to seeing you soon on the Varsity Media Sports Network.